Okay, hello everyone, this is Mr. Ronan here again, and the Guilty Gear Strive balance patch notes have come out, and the update's going to come out just tomorrow. So I thought we would quickly go through the changes that a character is going to receive, and we'll see how they actually come into play when the update actually comes out in about a day or so. And as an Ino enjoyer, I'm actually pretty happy from on paper, what we've gotten for Ino in this patch. She is not a character at the moment that is kind of, she's not a flop character. She's not an Anji or a Potemkin that people say is, real flop character, can't get anything done. But she's certainly not a character that people fear too much as a terrifying character. She's annoying, but wouldn't say she's top tier, especially after some changes that made her a little bit less degenerate to use, like with her heavy stroke now being minus. But these changes are pretty cool. And a lot of them are quality of life changes that just make you feel a lot less unsafe when you do everything with Ino, particularly with the hover dash stuff. So a few things you'll notice, or that you would have noticed if you play Ino a bunch, is that when you start your hover dash, it's kind of, obviously it's an offensive action, going forward is always offensive, but it's kind of offensive at the extreme cost of defense, because she can't really block in the startup, and she can't, if you're using a dash macro, you can hold the dash macro, but you can't block if you have the dash macro pressed. So if you ever want to block while you're dashing, most characters can just dash. If I control Kai here, oh no, that's not controlling Kai, this is controlling Kai. I'm holding the dash macro and I can press back and I block, but Ino can't do that. She just keeps dashing, even if I'm holding back or down back. And one of the changes in here is that if you do a back, up back, or down back motion, that will stop your hover dash. And that also includes your air, I guess it's a hover dash, her aerial dash. So it'll get cancelled if she does a back motion. So like here, it's like if you released it, but now you don't actually have to release the dash macro for it to happen. So that is super good. And as you can see, in situations like, or for this kind of thing, it'll make her offense a lot stronger, because you don't have to be as nimble with your fingers to do her dash in and like ambiguous overhead low stuff, because instead of having to release the dash macro to go for an FD, she would just be able to be holding it down and then go for block. So I can just hold it and go for like this, whereas now I have to release the dash macro and press those buttons at the same time. And although not difficult for high-level players, some people like myself can find things like that a little bit tricky sometimes. So having that stuff that just makes her a lot more fluid and safe with her movement is really powerful. And other changes to her movement make her a lot more safe as well. So like the startup of the dash can now be jump cancelled earlier. So now she kind of has to do like a bit of a dash before she can jump cancel. And as you can see, just like before, I can't jump cancel it. Oh yeah, wow, look, while I'm holding down the dash macro, you can't jump cancel still, so she can't block or jump cancel while she holds down the dash macro. But as you can see, even I just do a little dash, she has to do a decent amount of dash before she can actually jump out of it, but now she can jump cancel the startup, which obviously keeps her safe, because that's kind of her thing, where she can just dash in and then fake out a 6p, jump back, and beat the 6p with a dive kick, and RC it if she likes. And also, they say that like with the being able to jump cancel the startup, she will get like kind of a super jump where she gets a, what do they say exactly? Oh, the timing, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it allows her to move a greater distance than with a standard jump. I thought they said something cool about that. But basically, she'll just get like a super jump. So hopefully that means she kind of gets like a KOF, like hyper hop or something. Because now it doesn't really do much, and it's also kind of hard, and it looks really kind of wonky. So it kind of gives her extra range here, but now she'll be able to do it faster, and it'll just be able to go into like a super jump easily. And because it's just a jump, it's kind of like being able to go into a super jump, which she can't do off of our hover dash, because she's in the air. So that should be fun. Other changes don't really matter too much. Like there was some changes to, actually these are pretty cool. So her dive kicks, sultry performances, now have less landing recovery. And they don't state specifically whether it's on hit or on block or both, because she does, you know, land for both of them. And I'm really curious as to how that goes, because she can get some pretty meaty attacks off of her dive kick already. So if she can get some more crazy stuff, like into more easy safe jumps or whatever, that would be super powerful. And also if she just whiffs it in neutral, if she's a lot safer after that, that is going to be excellent, because a lot of the time if you're trying to do these things and then you go for it, you're kind of just stuck. Like you can hold it down, but it's still just gonna whiff if she whiffs it, and then probably gonna get punished because you're just standing there, and unless you RC, it's gonna be embarrassing. But yeah, it won't probably apply for this one. I don't think it would count because she doesn't really have landing frames. Oh, I guess, I mean, having less landing frames would be great, but it doesn't really matter because of the aerial recovery. But making these more safe would be amazing. If she could be safe on block, that would be really ridiculous. And the opponent can't just punish her, because now she has to like hop and go for that, and the opponent can get like really plus on block after she does the like hop cancel. So if she can just do this and be kind of safe just right in the opponent's face, that would be super strong, so they can't just instantly super. And also the small changes to, they have like big changes to, what did they call it? Hit regions, or like required distances for stuff to hit. What was it called? Proximity requirements. So this is kind of mainly a change for Ino, as you can tell from the diagram that they put up just for her. So a common strategy against Ino, if you're not aware, you probably are if you're watching this video, is if she's throwing out the note on like slightly not mediocre, the opponent can just put out a normal, like Kai could do his, oh, okay, not that button. But a lot of characters like Potemkin or Sol can do his 6H, throw out a really long reaching normal to hit the note when it only has one hit, because as you know, it does more hits the further it goes. So if I do it from this kind of distance and the opponent presses a button, it'll just do one hit, and it'll hit them. They do get hit, so they make themselves get hit, but they're actually still plus because of how much recovery that the note has. So Ino's just still standing here, they've already hit the note, and even though they get hit, they're still plus, which is kind of crazy. But now, because it basically just means it doesn't hit extended hurt boxes, it has to hit the core of the character, the note will go all the way onto them and they can't pop it early, which is potentially a really big buff, especially against like higher level opponents who really try to go for stuff like that and like pop your note to make your note offense a lot worse, which is not fun because note offense is kind of the main thing she has at the moment. It's the main pressure that she has, apart from, you know, overhead links, of course. So that's really good. And there's just a few changes, I believe, to the way it moves. Yeah, so it's got the proximity thing, and oh no, that's Stroke the Big Tree has a few hitbox and hurtbox changes, but I don't imagine there'll be too much. It's like changing the upper hurtbox slightly decreases as the move comes out, and it reduces the hurtbox for a set timing when it was extended too high. Which doesn't sound like it should change too much. Obviously, we'll see when it actually comes out how big these changes in hitboxes and hurtboxes actually are, but I can't imagine they would be too different because they're already quite generous, and I doubt they would take her low profilability away from her. And yeah, that's all of the changes we get for Ino. The main ones, I think, are going to be the safety to her dashes. That's what's going to matter the most. And then the changes to the antidepressant scale, having the proximity and more safe dive kicks, is just an extra fun little bonus, which kind of helps her with her safe dashing, of course, because if she can do this into the jumps more easily and then more easily bait out 6Ps, and it's just happy days. And if she is wrong and this is more safe, well, lovely, you're more safe. But we'll get to see how much these changes actually affect Ino's game plan very, very soon. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you soon when the changes actually come out. So, thanks for watching, bye-bye.